He's staring at our Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's whistling the cat.
What is up, guys and gals? This is Brandon Coin, just checking back in with y'all. I did end up changing up something in my cooling situation. Before, I had an AC unit upstairs, the 5,000 BTU, and I have just the area on my upstairs is just over about 150 square feet. It's a really small room, and I have 5 rigs upstairs, a total of a little over, I think, 34 graphics cards, and I was running all of them up there. I'm utilizing about 45 amps roughly. I have 100 amps dedicated to that room that I ended up wiring, but the biggest thing that I changed was I turned off my air conditioner. Now I have 4 of the 5 rigs upstairs in tents. I have 2 in each tent. The HVAC ducting coming off the tents with a fan sucking the air out of the tents. So it's sucking it off the top, so it's sucking the hot air out of the tents and pulling cool air from the room, the ambient air, into the bottom. So it's like, you know, chimney effect, I guess. I don't really know. But I do know that I was running AC in that room to help lower the ambient air temperature, and I got to thinking about it, and I already have an air conditioning unit for my whole entire house that works downstairs. I don't have the vents upstairs because that was added on later after the house was built, so it was always just been a window unit up there. But I got the bright idea to turn the window unit off, leave that door open, and then it'll just pull air up and out of the house by having those duct fans. At least that's what I thought in theory. So now let me click you over here. So we have the rigs right here, and they're running 70, 73, and this just shows the hottest card. So actually these cards are 66, 67, 63, 64. There's one running at 70, a little bit hotter than the rest, no big deal. Then the AMD rig, this is the 580s, 560s. They're between 65 to 68, and then you have one card running a little hot at 73. Then the 1080s right here are running between 60 to 69. There's even one 1080 in there running at 55 degrees Celsius. That one's running super. Now the 1050s are all between 66 to, looks like, somewhere down in the 50s, so 57, 58. So all those bad boys are staying cool. And now the 570s are at 58, 70, 67, 58, 70. I'm gonna take this and take y'all upstairs here in a second, but I just wanted to basically reiterate that it does not necessarily have to be air conditioned as long as you have airflow stripping the air off of the heat sinks. So if you have passive airflow, or as long as you have airflow across those heat sinks and pulling that heat out of there, that's the biggest thing. A friend of mine, Puggy, actually I'll link his video down below in the description. He has in his backyard a shed with no AC, and it gets up over 100 degrees almost every day out there where he lives. And all he's doing is pushing air through his rigs with a nice like little box setup, and kind of it reminds me of a 2-ton hasher, except it's a little more friendly for pulling them out. You don't have to like go into it. I'll put his link down below if you want to check it out. But I want to take y'all upstairs and actually show you. I have a little temperature thermometer gun, show you what the ambient air temperature is, and then that way you'll know this amount of airflow and these ambient air temperatures, these cards are able to stay cool. Bring you along and explain how that all works. Alright guys, so we're going upstairs into the room. I got a little bit of mess I need to clean up over here. Don't mind that. If you'll notice, the AC unit is off. There's nothing coming out of here. And it's actually fairly hospitable up here. You guys, well, I got my thermometer gun, and let me just get a reading off of the floor. It is 91 degrees Fahrenheit on the floor. And it is 100, almost 101 degrees Fahrenheit on the roof. Now, if you'll see, these are the actual tents I'm using. I'll peel it open real quick. There, it's got all the graphics cards, a little spaghetti monster wiring mess. Then it pulls the air out of the top. Over there, that's the fan that's pulling it out, and then it expels the heat straight outside. So that's my cooling solution. I'm not running any air conditioning up here, and if anything, it feels identical. It's not exactly like cooler by any means, but it doesn't feel hotter either. So I think the AC that I was pumping into here was pretty much being just wasted electricity. So I am now saving electricity. That means I can run some more graphics cards, because that AC unit was pulling almost 500 watts. But for the time being, it'll at least save me electricity. So now I'm gonna go downstairs and show you the measurements and everything for these tents compared to the CFM, and basically show you the formula to calculate the flow. So if you have the same amount of flow, you should be able to keep your cards cool in this temperature range. So if you're you know, inside your house is 91 to 100, so you can average out, say, maybe 95-degree ambient air across these cards should keep them cool. Alright guys, so I'm back downstairs and I just wanted to show you some rough calculations I came up with, and they seem to be working for me, even with no additional air conditioning, just the air conditioning I'm using in my house. So the tent size is 24 inches by 24 inches by 48 inches tall. So 2 feet by 2 feet by 4 feet. That gives us 16 cubic feet. Now the fan that I'm currently using is a 750 CFM fan. So if you take 750 and divide by 16, then you get, it replaces the air inside the tent 46.8 times every minute. And that, at that flow rate, I'm able to keep my cards cool at that 92 to 95 Fahrenheit. I haven't been able to test to see on if my floor Fahrenheit gets up past 100 and if it still works, because it seems to be keeping everything steady. Like if it's outside, for example, right now outside was like 98 today, so inside's like 91 upstairs. I guess that's because it's pulling AC from downstairs upstairs. So if it's self-sustaining at 98, it doesn't get much hotter than about 100 here in North Carolina, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with those numbers. Now, I did originally, when I set the tent up, try a 250 CFM fan. It was just one of the inline duct booster fans. They're really small, made, you know, just metal. And so if you take 16 cubic feet and divide, or 250 divided by 16 cubic feet, you only get 15.6. So that means it replaces the air 15.6 times every minute. That was not enough, even with the air conditioning running in that room. I was having every card that was inside of the tent eventually building up too much heat and then overheating. And I'm talking about like getting up in the 80 degrees Celsius range where like I am not comfortable running my cards. So if that gives you kind of an area or a range to figure out what kind of flow rate you need. Heard a lot of people had success with about the 550 range CFM on something this size. So for example, if you took you know, 550 CFM and divided that by 16, you end up with like 34.3. So that means it replaces the air inside the tent 34 times every minute. Somebody has told me 30 and above is what you want to be at. So I'm at 46, so I have more than enough for each tent, and I'm hunky-dory. By the way, I do have a 750 CFM on each tent, so it's an individual fan. It's not one fan pulling both. Thought I'd just share this with you, and if anybody else was out there wondering about how to cool their rigs and actually get the heat out of the house, because a lot of people just leave them open air, and then, like, you know, your AC in your house is obviously going to probably work about the same. Well, no, it ended up working more because your open air rig is just expelling that heat straight into side. So that's what we're really trying to avoid here. We want to be comfortable and we want to be as efficient as possible. Now this 750 CFM fan that I have, I did put a kilowatt meter on it, and it does pull about 210 watts. It jumps back and forth between 190 to 210. So we'll average it out and say 200 watts and times 24 divided by 1,000. That gives us 4.8 kilowatt hours a day, or kilowatts a day, times 30. And now times my hourly rate of 0.09. Each fan is costing me almost $13 a month. Or, I mean, by the day, it's 43 cents a day. So I'm spending, let's get that back up there to 30, and now times 2 because I'm running 2 fans. I'm spending around $26 a month to expel the heat out of these machines. Do I think that's worth it? To me, it's worth it. To you, it may not be. This is just all information to help you guys out there. Hopefully it does help. I really appreciate it, and I did want to ask a question. I was thinking about switching over my my format of how I do my daily hash rate videos over to a live style. So that means every evening at the end of the day or end of my day when I normally record it and then edit it and do all that stuff, instead I'll just 100%, I'll just go live, and I'll go live on YouTube and also possibly Twitch too, because somebody said that they would rather watch me on Twitch than YouTube. I guess the YouTube live sometimes isn't as doesn't work as intuitively. I don't know. I could go live on both of those at the same time and just record the daily hash rates and then let that video publish at the end, and it would be easier and faster for me. And if that's something y'all are interested in, if you like being live, maybe I could have a section at the end where all I do is just some you know, questions, feedback, that kind of thing. It may make for a really good entertainment show wise. I don't know, but you know, is what it is. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I will see you later. Adios.